All right, all right. Welcome back, CyberHoot fans. Turn that music off there. Welcome back and Happy New Year to you. It's 2026, and guess what? The confetti's settled, the calendars are flipped, and your inbox is probably giving off some abandon all hope vibes. But don't worry, we've got your back. I'm Chuck Taylor, the co-founder and chief go-getter here at CyberHoot, and this is Shoot the Hoot Raw, the first episode of the new year. 2026 already. Can you believe how fast that went by for 2025? It's crazy. But now, hope everyone had a great holiday break. I'll admit, I got caught up in that cold flu storm thing that's been going around. So my time off featured a lot more cough drops than it did chocolate chip cookies. But hey, I still got some rest. And now we're back, caffeinated and ready to kick 2026 off right. And today's episode, it's the ultimate cybersecurity New Year checklist because before you get buried in another year of chaos, let's reset your training, refresh your fish, and make sure your automation is actually doing its job. We're going to cover things like how to review and reset your automated training schedules, why it's time to refresh your HootPhish, AttackPhish, and Autopilot content, how to spot and support your clickers, sleepers, and silent overachievers, the magic to clean up dormant users and those dusty old reports. And then we're going to talk about what's new in cyber to help you crush 2026 like a boss, right? So top off that coffee, open your brain tabs, and let's hit the ground running. Let's check out today's flight plan. All right, let's break down what's on the radar for today. First up, as I said, we're talking about that cyber cleanup checklist. It's the new year, which means it's time to Marie Kondo your autopilot setup. We're clearing out the digital cobwebs, refreshing the training schedules, and making sure you're starting 2026 off clean, lean, and ready to defend. Then the CyberHoot Nerd Update, fixes, enhancements, improvements. Oh my, right? We've got a light but mighty list of updates to share. And yes, some of it is under the hood polish that makes your life smoother without you even noticing. After that, our open mic Q&A. You bring the questions, we'll bring the answers. And if we don't know, we'll make something up. Just kidding. Kinda, because if you don't know I'm wrong, I can say what I want. Oh, it was out loud, I'm sorry. Okay, this is your time to ask anything, cyber related or otherwise. Even Carl's inbox strategy is on the table. And finally, our hoot-worthy horror story, the vendor's vendor. It's a real one, it's rough, it's a reminder that your security is only as strong as the third party they trust. So grab your coffee, check off the January cobwebs, and let's get to this bird up in the air. All right, so let's kick things off with the cyber cleanup. A little digital decluttering to get your year started just right. Think of this like taking down your holiday decorations. You could leave them up until March, but should you? Probably not. First, let's check your user list. If you've got dormant users or folks who left the company last July still hanging around in there, it's time to deactivate or remove them. So I'm going to share my screen and show you a few of these things as we just kind of walk through very, very quickly. So in our Autopilot platform, very, very simple. All you're going to do is you're going to pick your tenant. So let's say I want to go into this Enter ID tenant for the fun of it. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go to the users. I'm just going to review my list and make sure everybody here is good. You notice that these are Enter ID synced. So I don't necessarily, I can archive them here if I want, right? But what we really want to do is you really want to go back to probably over to Enter ID or Google or whatever and archive them there. But you want to get these people out of here because why send unnecessary emails? Why, why give someone training that one's not going to get it, or B, you don't want to get training anymore. So review these lists and go over this and make sure that your user lists are actually clean. Now, I'm going to show you a few things in this cleanup today. I'm going to be jumping back and forth showing you how to get to these different things and show them a different order. What I would recommend you do when the time comes, start out at the tenant level, right? And then work your way down, do them one tenant at a time, all right? And there are some tricks in here that allows you to do things across multiple tenants. All right, so that's how you clean up those user lists, you clean them out, you make sure they're good, and make sure they're clean. All right. Now, make sure I go back to here now, remove and add the stage. Okay. Next thing we're going to talk about here. So, I mean, I want you to remember, of course, that those ghost accounts that were sitting there, they don't just inflate your numbers and cost you money. They're actually a risk as well. So we want to make sure we got it all cleaned up. So next, we're going to take a look at HR and manager assignments. So if Janice from finance left and you're still sending compliance reports, that's wasteful. Let's get that cleaned up. So going back over to our demo, we'll share this out. All right. All you want to do with that, to do your managers, super, super, super simple, right? You want to check out your HR and your managers that are on your platform. You can go into the actual tenant, You go over to the settings. Underneath there, you're going to find the very top, your HR contact, an HR contact email. You want to make sure that person's still in your company, they're still there, they'll get those emails. Also, any local company managers that you have set up. Now, this one doesn't have any managers set up, it looks like, that are local, but if you had local managers, they would show up here. Now, you could always, of course, go back to the users that are inside of that tenant, and there you can see the management structure that exists. Right here, you'll see manager, 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 right? So that's available to you there if you want to look through there as well. But clean up those managers, get them straight, and making sure that, you know, you're not sending out wasteful emails and the right people are in charge of the right positions, right? So, and, you know, while you're in there, you know, archive any of those old tenants or orders that were just onboarding or for demos. So oftentimes the cases we have these tenants that we put on there as a test, an internal one or a test one or what have you. You can easily go into the tenant itself. If I went into here, go down to the tenant and say, all right, I'm just gonna take this one tenant. They're no longer any good. I can take this one and archive it, click the archive button there. Everything just archived in the system. They go away and you don't have to see them anymore. You can always bring them back. Now you also have the ability at the tenant level to do a mass action. And that mass tenant action includes, you would select here all your active tenants, and you would say, all right, these 3 or 4 tenants, I want to take them and I want to archive them and just execute that action. They'll get rid of all those tenants for you with one click there, right? So very simple, very easy way to get rid of a bunch of tenants. Now, then, and this is a big one. So going back over to looking at our slide here, pop back over here, remove, and add the stage. So this last one here, this is the big one, right? So you have to go into your users and send out any outstanding assignments. And you make sure that there aren't any zombie trains attached to users who no longer exist. So we talked about those new users already and getting them out of there, but you want to make sure everyone's got all the 2025 training done, because it's 2026, folks. Let's get them up to date, get them running. So all you have to do to make that happen, this is the main one, the last main one around users. So let's remove this again. Let's go back to the share. I know it's a lot of back and forth. I'm sorry about that. So going back to our share, we are focusing now on, you know, sending out those outstanding assignments, right? So what you can do for each tenant is you go into the actual tenant themselves, go to the users, and then from there, you can turn around and just say, email outstanding assignments. And what that'll do is anything that's not currently completed, it's going to send everyone a reminder, hey, get this done. Now, as I said, if you've got some 2026 training that went out the 1st or 2nd of the month and they're not done yet by the employees, it's going to send a reminder on those too. But hey, it's the start of the year, it's still the first week, send them out, make sure everybody cleans up all their training and gets it done. Definitely, definitely important, right? All right. Back to our list. So that was a lot of the stuff around the individual users and everything. But, you know, with this new year, there's a new rhythm. And this is the perfect time to take a quick lap through your training schedules and make sure that they all still make sense. Things like your monthly, your quarterly, your onboarding training, whatever you got set up, give it a refresh so it matches how your business actually runs today. So going back to our platform, as I go back and forth, I'm getting pretty good at this remove and add back to the stage, I think. We go back to our platform here, right? And we can go and look at the individual tenant. Now you can do this at the tenant level. We can do it at the power up level. So let's go first at the tenant level and show you how this works. In the tenant, you can always go into the individual tenant, go down to the threat and monitoring down here, making sure your cadence is set up properly. Do you want to change anything here? Do you want to stop anything? Do you want, oh, I didn't put AttackPhish on. You want to put something on and add more dark web monitoring, for example, and all the cases. So you want to check all those and make sure that you've got your tenant set up properly. But you might say to yourself, you might say to me, hey, Chuck, look, dude, that's great, but I've got 30 of these. How do I make sure this schedule is right for everybody? No problem. All you have to do is you can go over to the individual power-ups and manage it at the power-up level. So our video training for the year, is it set up properly and what's the cadence? You can come here, look at when it was started, what's the frequency it's set up on a per tenant basis. So if I've got 10 tenants, but only 7 are getting video training, I should know that I have 3 that aren't getting video training. Maybe that's on purpose. Maybe that was a mistake. Make those comparisons and check it out. Now, no, you might say, well, what about refreshing their content? Talk about refreshing their content. What do I have to do? What do I have to pick? Do I have to go to the front of the store and choose between 100 different jars of jam to figure out what to schedule out? No, not at all. In Autopilot, the most sophisticated automated platform on the market, our vCISOs at CyberHoot are taking care of all that for you. Once you set up that video training and you say run, it runs forever. our team puts together the list of the topics for the new year. We put them out there that's going to keep you, your business, and your employees safe. And we put it out there for you. So is there any refresh of the content on your side? Not really, unless you're doing custom hoots. Now, if you have custom hoots, you have an onboarding video, for example, you don't want to go in and maybe update that for a new year. Or if everything's the same, you just leave it. Now, this is the videos. I can turn them on and off, and I can enable videos here for the training across everyone. HootPhish, same kind of way. We look at the cadence for HootPhish and how's that currently set up. I've got 9 tenants that are in HootPhish. You can see how the frequency is set up for these. I might go, look at this, oh, look, I meant these guys to be monthly, not quarterly. What's happening here, right? So I can easily fix it right here. I can edit it here and go in and make that change. So really, really simple. It's just a quick edit. I select the cadence on it. I'm going to every other month just to have fun with it. So mark that, boom, done. AttackPhish. Do you have AttackPhish set up? This is, again, AttackPhish is not training, not training. AttackPhish is a test. This is a traditional fish test you send out. Did I get you? Did you click on it? Hey, watch this video. Take this HootPhish to learn from it. This is assessing, right? This is testing, not training. You can go and look and see how do I have these set up. Now, honestly, some of these here in our demo environment are quarterly and monthly. I recommend either semi-annually or annually, and that you give everyone a heads up. Hey, look, just so you know, when we doing a fish this month coming, can you spot it? Can you report it? Make it a game. Make it fun. Don't make it punitive. Don't make them feel bad if they click on. Just say, hey, we want to see how well our training is going and how effective it is so far. Can you spot the fish and earn more points in your Hoot score? Let's go. All right. So you have the ability there. You can manage this at the power up level. Of course, our dark web. You want to see if dark web is enabled. We have enabled for 8 people. You might say, I thought, or 8 tenants, excuse me. And you might say, I thought I had dark web turned on everywhere. So you can just go into the enable dark web. You can find all the individual customers here or tenants that don't have it enabled. Like remember the Enter ID did not have it enabled. I can easily set it up here and say, hey, enable for these 2. Which will enable that for you in one fell sweep. So great. Now, the custom stuff. Now, this is where the content on your side has to be refreshed by you. This custom hoots, of course. Now, we do offer you a bunch from our training library, but you may have your own custom videos and everything you've set up and you have out there. All you need to do is go in and review those custom videos that you have set up, find them by name, see where they're from, make the changes, how many tenants have this enabled, who has what. So you have this ability to go in and change content, to update your PDFs. You can find your policy documents and, training hoots. You can find policy documents, I guess, here. You see documents. Review all your documents that you have in place by clicking on this, diving into them and editing and making modifications, etc. So all this is available to you on these custom hoots. A lot of power, and that's where you would actually go in and refresh your content. So, a couple of these clicks and stuff that that you can do now proactively will help you stop from that scrambling you're going to do in March, wondering why something's not firing, why training isn't out there. So you just set that cadence, you lock it in, and let Autopilot do all the things for you all year long. With our vScisos giving you great content for your employees and to keep things moving. And here's a pro move that most people skip. Take a snapshot of where you are right now, right? So you can go to the individual tenant. I'm gonna go back over to the tenant here, right? For each tenant, what I would want to do is go into my tenant and actually take a snapshot of this screen, right? And of course, this tenant only has a couple of things turned on. Just a more colorful looking tenant here with more data points, right? So this tenant here, you can see, I would take a screenshot of this section right through here. I would take a screenshot of this, save it to like a 2025 year-end folder kind of thing. And then a year from now, turn around and show them, take another snapshot of it. And then what you can do, you can take this snapshot, a year from now, you'll have this new snapshot. You can pull the same dashboard from before, and you won't need to actually create a spreadsheet or a speech at all. Just show the 2 side by side. You'll have proof, because the pictures, they're not just worth 1,000 words. It's worth a year of progress. You can show side by side. This was last year where you are. This is where you are this year. Are we progressing or are we getting worse? Real simple picture approach. Now, we do have reports that show you this too. I like the screenshots better. People love these screenshots of the different colors and everything that are on there, right? So going back to our slides now, remove and back to our slides. So this isn't, listen, this is not glamorous work, right? But it's a kind of cleanup that sets you up for a smooth ride in 2026. You got to do the you have to do the work. You have to clean up. You have to be prepared. Don't you feel better once you have everything set up and running? You know you've checked and confirmed. And if you're still on that Power platform, so I've showed you the Autopilot platform today. If you're still on that Power platform and want to be moved over to our Automagic Power of Autopilot, send us an email to support@cyber.com and we'll get you migrated ASAP. There's no cost for it. We'll move you right over to it. We'll even come up and tell you this is your best pricing. Keep your current pricing or move to the new pricing. We'll tell you the difference between the two. We could possibly save you some money in this new year. So reach out to us. We'll help you out, right? So now your dashboards are cleaned up. Your schedules are all refreshed. You start the new year with a clear runway of what you want to get done. So now let's see what CyberHoot Dev Squad has been cooking up while we were ringing in the new year. It's time for the nerd update. Okay, our nerd update. Boom. So let's flap into the Hoot Labs. Let's check out what the dev allies have been up to. And yes, they were even over the holidays doing some work. They were squashing bugs and polishing features like it's nesting season, right? So these updates were part of the last release of 2025. They came out on December 16th that these actually went out. So on the training and reporting front, you can now customize your training hours on certificates. So if you're ever asked, hey, how long was this course really and how many CPEs is it worth? Boom, it's right there in the certificate. You can tweak it and adjust it on the individual certificates for training. Also, we fixed this little gremlin that was setting compliance scores to 0% before users even had a shot at taking their assignments. Well, that was rude of them. Those gremlins, they're gone. Get out of here. Over in HootPhish and AttackPhish, we've made it easier to preview and review simulated attacks, including those with unique templates. So we're trying to optimize some of the flow there. We also now sync reported fish into the Power platform. So if someone hits that report button, it doesn't just vanish into the void. We actually track it for you and show it to you in Power now. It wasn't there before. And then general platform cleanup. Our Doodle syncs are back on track. Our manager dropdowns are behaving the way they should. Our email template previews now just work before having challenges. And we gave some fatal errors the boot. Thanks, fellas. I appreciate you doing that work, knocking it out. So that wraps up the tour of the Hoot Labs and what we did, wrapping up the 2025. Now let's flip the mic. It's Q&A time where you hoot and we holler back with answers. But before that, send, well, always do this, right? Send New Year 10 to ShootTheHoot@cyberhoot.com and receive 10% off your next invoice. Type it in, click send, and get that 10. And guess what? If you're not watching this live, send it to me anyway. I love to get it from you. It shows me that you're watching. I'll give you 10% off your invoice. If you don't want to save 10%, don't send me an email. If you want to save 10%, send me an email. I'll hook you up. All right. Now over to our Q&A. So, all right, team, we've talked dashboards, cleanups, and fresh starts. Now it's your turn. Let's dive into your new year cybersecurity questions. Whether it's setting goals, tweaking Autopilot, or figuring out if Carl's still on the team, we're here for it. And don't be shy. Don't be shy. Shoot some questions my way. If not, I do have some common questions and answers I can share with you guys. All right, so I'm looking for the comments and questions now. Go over here and look. Okay, first question. We added a bunch of new hires in December. Should I retrain them or wait for the regular schedule? So great question. If they haven't been added to the platform yet, get them added right away. Either through Gutra, either through Gutra, it's a new, no, I'm kidding. Either through Google or Enter ID syncing, or through your local management. So if you got Google and Enter ID syncing, make sure users are added into there. They'll get added to the platform automatically. Or if you're doing local management via CSV or individual creation, put them in there, it'll take care of it. And if you have the video training and the HootPhish power-ups enabled, those users will get the foundational sets immediately, along with one HootPhish to get them started. Pro tip, if you have some custom training, create a new hires group. Have a group that's called new hires. Schedule some custom hoots for that group. Simply make sure any new hires are part of that group. They'll get the training automatically. So you get a new hire to the company, throw them in the new hires group, create a new hire video. Say, hey, just so you know, these are some of the things in the company. We take security seriously. You don't have cybersecurity training, et cetera. Assign that to them. They're going to watch it. They're going to get your custom message, right? New hires group, big time pro tip. All right. Next question. Okay. We archived a bunch of users who left in Q4. Do I need to do anything else? Nope. Nope, that's the great thing about our platform. If you archive them in the system, whether it be manually in our system or through Google Cloud or Enter ID, they'll automatically be archived along with their training and their notifications. And a bonus tip, don't forget to snapshot your compliance dashboard now to compare at the end of 2026. So clean those users up, add the right users in, hit that snap of the, use your screen capturing software, get a picture of that screen, save it to a folder for 2025, compare it to 2026, good to go, you're ready to go. Big time bonus tip. All right, next question. Okay, is there any way to preview what schedules go out next month? Yup. You head right into Autopilot. Go to that tenant's dashboard and review the schedule for each power up. You'll see the entire schedule laid out for you under each power up. So going back in here, let me go in this, kind of show you this real fast. I'll add this back to the stage. So what you can do here is you can go in and you can see based on the power ups, you can see what the actual schedule is. You can see the foundational system that went out, what's happening now in 2025 through 2026. You see what's coming out January 18th of this month for our videos for this tenant. You can hop over to HootPhish, see the same kind of thing where you can see the schedule of what days things are supposed to go out. That's great. You can do it on a per tenant basis. Or like I said before, you can go up to the individual powers to say, what videos are going out this month, right? You can kind of see over here what's been sent out as active and what's there. But this doesn't show you what's next. That's true. Just kind of shows you the cadence and the compliance, et cetera. So in order to see what's actually going out next per tenant, you have to look at it per tenant. Maybe we should add that here. I don't know. Sometimes the pending stuff can get overwhelming if there's too much stuff in the dashboard. I'll have to think about that one. All right. So that's how you very easily find out, what's on the what's going to be coming out, what's the schedule look like, et cetera. So, here's a pro tip for you. I like throwing these pro tips out there. If you send a 2026 New Year email to your customers, reminding them, or your employees, reminding them of their training schedule and some possible service upgrades you have available, put it out there. Do that New Year. Hey, Happy New Year to you. Do a 60 or 90-second video. Hey, Happy New Year to you. Just so you know, I've refreshed and I've already done my due diligence and taken care of your training for the year. You're all set and ready to roll. We're gonna have a great year. No, by the way, I'm now offering a dark web monitoring service. You want to add this on? Let's add that on for you now so we can report to you what's out there. Take advantage of the opportunity. It's a new year. It's a new reason. Now, some people say, what's the difference between December 31st and January 1st, really? You know what it is? It's a mindset. It's the same as I'll start my diet on Monday versus Sunday, right, or Friday. So it's a mindset change. Leverage the opportunity. Get the people while they're hot and they're ready to go and they're motivated, right? That's how we did things. It's a new year. It's a new approach. All right. So we've cleaned up. We've caught up. We kicked off 2026 with confidence. But now it's time for a little reality check and a cautionary tale from the cybersecurity archives. So buckle up. This here with the horror story might hit a little too close to home for some people. If it does, I'm sorry in advance. Okay. The vendor's vendor. So let me set the scene here for you real fast. It's 2021 and Morgan Stanley, that Morgan Stanley, they're feeling pretty confident. They've got layers of cybersecurity controls, vendor oversight, and they're no strangers to compliance results and audits. But then a whisper from upstream. A vendor of their vendor, Guidehouse, had used a legacy file transfer tool from Acelion. It had been breached. By the time anyone realized what had happened, the damage was already done. Encrypted files containing personal data, names, dates of birth, social security numbers had been accessed. And you say, well, it was encrypted. How was it accessed? It was accessed because the bad actor had also gotten the decryption key. And just like that, Morgan Stanley was pulled right into the breach. The kicker, Morgan Stanley systems weren't directly compromised. Their vendor systems weren't even compromised at the time. This was fallout, delayed, detached, devastating from a supply chain vulnerability that had been quietly exploited months earlier. So why does this matter? Why does it matter, right? So no matter, it just does to show you that no matter how secure your tools are, no matter how big your budget is, if someone in your data supply chain slips up, you're on the front page. So to take away here, trusting that vendors probably patched it isn't a security policy. Assuming automation used to be in place, to be in place is enough, don't assume that. And security, it must be verified. It must be audited, and it must be actively reinforced, especially in your supply chain. Think of third-party risk management type things that you can do. These things need to be done. Now, so that's your reminder that even giants can stumble if they're not checking what's beneath the surface. But hey, look, it's the first episode of the year. We're not here to end it on a downer, right? So let's wrap things up and send you into the new year sharp, secure, ready to hoot. And that's a wrap for this episode, this very, very, very first episode of 2026. We shook off that holiday rust. We cleaned house. We kicked the tires on Autopilot setup, and from refreshing training schedules to snapping dashboard screenshots for future you to appreciate. You've got your to-do list. You've got your automation humming. You've got a full year ahead to keep building smarter, safer teams. We'll be back next week with a fresh topic, more platform magic, and probably a few more owl puns that strictly aren't necessary. Until then, laugh, learn, and hoot up. Hoot up.